Today we're checking out a knife that I've been really excited to get my hands on, and this is the Luft Concepts LTL. This is a small fixed blade designed for everyday carry, but it's got a pretty unique backstory that I think really adds to what this knife represents. This isn't just another EDC fixed blade, it's the result of a long journey for Luft Concepts to bring something American made into their lineup. Let's get into it. The LTL, which literally just stands for little, is a compact fixed blade built around utility. The blade steel here is CPM S45VN, which is a premium stainless that balances edge retention, toughness, and corrosion resistance. The handle material is Richlite, which if you haven't handled this before, it feels pretty amazing, and it's durable, sustainable, and it takes on a really unique look over time. This particular one here is an acid wash blade with burgundy black and tan scales. I can't state how much I love the overall look of this thing. You have a really aggressive shape that should be good for a large range of tasks, along with a really impeccable styling. The acid wash blade looks really mean, and the Richlite scales have such a unique pop of color. And right away you can tell that this is meant to be a do-it-all companion blade, something you can keep in your pack for camping, or even carry it as an all-around do-it-all fixed blade. Now here's where it all gets interesting. The LTL wasn't just designed out of thin air. Luft Concepts actually spent over 2 years trying to bring a US-made folder to life, and that turned into a pretty rough journey. They partnered with 2 different OEMs, but both projects either fell apart, either due to the companies running out of money or Luft getting deprioritized. And after putting in all that time, I would say it's pretty discouraging to say the least. But out of that frustration came a connection with a manufacturer in Arizona. This company had never done a folding knife before, so instead of trying to force a folder, Luft pivoted. They said, all right, let's start with a fixed blade. And that's where the LTL was born. This is a design from both Jake and Ryan at Luft Concepts, and it's meant to be utilitarian, tough, and capable of handling almost anything from carving and batoning to food prep and just your small everyday tasks. So when you look at this knife, it's more than just specs. It represents years of trial, error, and finally a breakthrough into American manufacturing. Featuring a blade length of just a hair over 3 inches and an overall length of just over 7 inches, this seems like the perfect spot for a small but usable everyday carry fixed blade. Comparing it to some of my other favorite small fixed blades, we can see that it is larger than the Kaiser Drop Bear fixed blade, along with the Kanset Par. In my opinion, the LTL is the Goldilocks size, as it's big enough to fit comfortably in your hand and perform any job, but not too large to be truly noticeable or annoying in the pocket. The knife is pretty comfortable in my small to medium-sized hands, and the jimping on the spine could not have been in a better place. My thumb lands perfectly on the jimping, and due to this slight curve of the handle, the grip feels tailor-made. Out of all my EDC fixed blades, this one is definitely the most comfortable in hand. Everything about the LTL feels intentional. For example, the lanyard hole. Luft isn't really big on lanyards, but they knew that some people would want that option. So instead of a giant hole at the back of the handle, they made it pretty small and discreet, but it's still large enough to fit 550 paracord without having to strip it down. And pro tip, if you're ever having trouble feeding paracord through, you can simply cut the end at an angle, melt it to a point, and feed it through. I actually think lanyards have a time and place, as seen on my Kanset Par, but in my opinion, the LTL is already the perfect size, so I don't think this blade needs one, but it's cool it has that option. The size overall is perfect for an EDC fixed blade. You get enough blade to actually work with, but it's compact enough to carry comfortably without feeling like you're strapping a survival knife to your belt. And I've got to give credit where it's due, this sheath is just as impressive as the knife itself. Instead of going the traditional Kydex route, Luft actually partnered with an industrial 3D printing company out of Texas. They worked through multiple iterations to get this sheath right, and the end result is a low-profile design that locks in the knife with excellent retention. It's made from a pretty strong polymer, think something along the lines of like a Glock frame level toughness, and it accepts an Ulti-clip, which was included, or a discrete carry concept clip for easy carry. If a 3D printed sheath isn't really your jam, or if you prefer leather, Redeemed Creations makes a really classy leather sheath for these as well. In my opinion, a fixed blade is only as good as its sheath, and fortunately for this one's rock solid. The retention is excellent, there's zero play or wiggle, and it locks in the knife very securely. I've personally never encountered a 3D printed sheath before, but if they're all like this, I'm interested. It's very lightweight, but still feels extremely strong. There's nothing like the standard 3D printed filament that you're used to, as I believe this is powder printed, as there's no printing lines and everything just feels perfect. The only thing going against this sheath might be its thickness. When we compare it to a standard Kydex sheath, there definitely is some more bulk. It would be interesting to see if we can get this slimmed down in the future, but I'm still pretty impressed overall. So to wrap it all up, the Luft Concepts LTL is more than just a fixed blade. It's a story of persistence, a step into American manufacturing, and a design that just makes sense for real-world use. S45VN steel, rich light scales, and a sheath that's just as refined as a knife itself, it's a complete package. I think this works perfectly as an EDC fixed blade, but also as the one knife you throw in your bag and you'll know it to handle whatever you need it to. Whether that's carving, camping, cooking, or just opening packages, the LTL feels like it was made to work, not just sit in a drawer. If you've been curious about Luft concepts or just want a capable American-made fixed blade with some real thought behind it, the LTL is definitely worth checking out. I'll drop a link below if you want to see the different variations. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.